Hello everyone and welcome back to Roulette Rivals 12, this time with a loser bracket round 4 match between Giannini and Ducker, two of the very few multi-time Roulette Rivals champions and two of the few of the very old-time and all-time greats with, well, usually it's the first and third most experienced players with basically hundreds of matches between them. This is Gianni's 110th match and Ducker is on 92 before this one. So, I mean, roulette isn't any new to them. We'll see if the spins will be any new to them, of course. Roulette always changes with the rules and conditions, but they have been at the top of the game for a very, very long time. They haven't been in a final for a couple of tournaments, but this might just be their renaissance. LB4, one of them make it to LB5 and continue and possibly make it further, although it's a very difficult part of the bracket. We will talk about a bit later. And there were some messages in the chat, and that's true. This is like an RR3 final, but they did not play a final at any point in the RR history. They played a semi-final in RR3 actually. In the console side, Gianni beat Tucker to make it to the final there and beat 420 and win his first title, but they've played 4 times if I saw it correctly. Last, well, a year and a half ago in RR7, so we don't really know what they will be shaping up against each other. And we are testing something here, which I'll talk about a bit more when we get there. I will need to unmute the match URL and give it to some sound, because thanks to Mike, we now have one unified, I guess, link to see here. We don't need to add the Twitch streams, and hopefully that means that we have a much smoother casting experience. The first spin is already here, or possibly 5. We start in New York and scale after, but for now it is Loud SMG as bank teller, the first spin here today. So, to my knowledge, you can get a Loud SMG in New York, but realistically this is going to be a spin where you bring in the Loud SMG as the agency pickup, and you use the snail to probably get 2 discs, or you just use fewer chunks on the disc beholders, Matteo and Fabian. We'll see how they will handle it. Gianni used the strength already on Fabian. No, that was Matteo, the first person. And now the snail to get the bank teller. Sadly, I can't hear game audio yet. I think I will work on it after this New Year, because there's just so much going on here. Gianni already has the disguise, and Ducker's already made it up. Did not care about Matteo. We'll just want to use Fabian. We just want to lure Fabian to get that disc.
How crap this old building is with the wireless. Now the director hates seeing cables anywhere.
See about that. It's waiting a long time to probably lure Fabian when he's closest to the door. Otherwise he will call that into the investment banker guy. 106, it should be pretty close now. I think Ducker triggered a proxy conversation, and there was a long talk meeting between them, and now Fabian might be closest. But Gianni now with 1 disc in hand and second one not too far away, he can begin the office isolation. Pretty sure that there was the Wi-Fi lure, which is a staple of New York's lately. The briefcase puts 1 away. Ducker with a restart. Fabian, after all that long wait, did not play ball with Ducker and will need to restart. Gianni now with a minute 40 advantage. Gianni using more coins, commemorative tokens. The last one bounced off, and they will be looking towards here, which make it a bit more difficult. Gianni with a big whoosh, and still 2 NPCs to take care of. You can't get compromised with the first KO. Gianni with another big whoosh, and no more coins, but now with the extra items to throw, because they will be seen by the NPCs and lured into different directions. Athena is investigating in the middle. I'm not even sure if that's peekaboo at this point or a lure, but so far it's green, and I think it should stay green. Gianni with the soundproof corner gets the last last action of this room with a loud shot gets Athena down, and after all that,
Nothing here.
he is gonna be fine. But that Brian SMG is really not strong to open a door. He's thankfully fine with probably the last
Right.
bullet
How
there. He had
cramped this old
40
building is
more
with the
there, but
wires.
would have proven to be difficult. Now Yanni's taking a bit long here, and yeah, we will need to do something here with the high security guard. We'll make an entrance fairly shortly. We've seen the picture not long ago. Luckily he's not the enforcing one, so Yanni with 1 KO can secure this position and just take the last disc from Fabian, who will now be closer to the stock market area. There he is. I'm not sure if he will be triggering any proxy conversations, but now it's fine. Yanni quite in the open, but that's a calculated last shot there, and Yanni gets the exit with 315-ish first try. It's a loud kill. You needed agency pickup. It's perfectly reasonable. First try and first map win for Yanni. Now I want to try the
So are we just supposed to let anyone from IT?
the advanced audio
Crap, this old building
thingamajig.
is wireless. Now the director hates seeing cables anywhere. Well, she
How
had her
do I
router
even
installed in
pull
her
this one
office,
up?
but it died
Because
too long. Hence the need for IT to drop
do you
by.
guys hear the game audio? Because I can see it in OBS that it the changes, but I think it's not on my end. We get a couple of minutes to figure that one out. Hopefully I will be able to. Okay, now I can hear it. And now you guys should too, hopefully. So this was a really quick map with lots of chat to catch up on. Don't think I should really read up that much, but I can check on the chat because there's gonna be more reactions. There are no reactions from the players after this first map. Now I can hear the audio, so hopefully it's gonna be the same for all of you. And that's a very nice observation by Lonely. 14 versus 7. Both of them played 21 scales before, and they have the exact same 2-for-1 win ratio. The only way they can keep it equal is really the tie, which would be their first one in 22 attempts. 3 minutes until then. Time for Ducker's map pick. Ducker's way until LB4 is as follows. I think it's a bit loud here. Let me just work on it a little. So Decker has played 4 matches in RR12. He has beaten Brainfixer with a 6-0 and then lost to the Wonder Rookie Dynamos 0-6, so sweep both ways, which put him down to the loser bracket where he first beaten Zuko Chen with a very exciting 5-mapper, 6-4, and then continued. I don't think it was last night, but too long ago, with a sweep against D-North 6-0. And as far as Yanni goes, he has played 1 fewer matches. Of course, he has been in the upper bracket until now. Started with the win, 6-0 against Frody, and a 6-2 against Channel Join. But then the Reaper 47 stopped him from the winner bracket with a 6-2. So that's where we are right now. Minute 40 until the second spin of the day. Second spin of this match, rather. Because of course we have a parallel match here between Gorg and TK47, and I'm sure people are aware, but never bad to have a reminder. Yeah, the other match can be seen at twitch.tv/crazy4daisy. They have started in Bangkok and Colorado. Our match is New York scale, and then I can see the random maps, and they are just on average shorter, but I won't reveal too much. There's really not much else to... Well, of course, if you have too much experience, then any of these numbers just become meaningless. 14 and 7 just means that they're really experienced with scale over, I guess, now 3 full year period, 4 full years, sorry, 2019 was the first one. No, 2020, 2021, 2 and 3, so 4 years. But it really doesn't matter how they handle the spins 2 or 3 years ago. All that matters is this spin here today. Zoe Washington, Alt X as the initiate, and Sophia Washington, no target specification, silence SMG as an event staff. So there's a live kill. There's an Alt X which is found in the council lounge, sorry. So about level 5, level 6, closer to the penthouse. Definitely some detour. And the thing with Zoe is that the initiate isn't allowed on the member grounds. It's one of the few disguises which is trespassing her, along with the suit, of course, and the barrier ropes, which is hostile, and same with the knights or armor, but of course you don't go too far from it. So it's not a usual toilet distraction, or emeticking wouldn't work. We will either see the phone strat for a quick ISO here and a kill late in the run, or it might just be an ammo sealer because it's just so close to the initiate. The Old X is where the council is in session. It's not the council room on level 6, but rather only the bookshelves floor below, where a couple others are chilling. They will be both starting by getting the initiate and potentially even doing a full ammo sealer. So many options from this point. All that we can see from here is that event staff start, or getting it early, and getting Sophia with the radio lure doesn't really seem like an option. What's the reason why that could be possible is that you just probably take one from the elite guard, and if you do the radio lure, then you might not get the elite guard come in with Sophia, so you don't even get a silent SMG to kill her with. Yanni and Ducker both with the event staff disguise. So basically my previous sentence was totally wrong, because they both started event staff, obviously, to secure both disguises early on. The question of the silent SMG will be resolved soon, and I guess because we can see it in the Hypervorian showroom now, it's likely that the silent SMG will be taken from there, and it's probably not risking getting the briefcase first. And the Tucker is even tighter timing wise. And looking for a couple options there. I don't think he has time to do a lot. That was a whoosh. I'm not sure if it was a full peekaboo. Ducker is the first one to get the radio. Get Sophia going inside. Ducker gets a peekaboo. This is the same what Yanni tried to avoid, and I think that's gonna be a whoosh. But no peekaboo. The second one I think is a peekaboo, and Sophia is still just arriving. I don't see the event staff making a move. I think Tucker also got away with it, so that's 2 quick Sophia kills with the radio. With 0 pacification, sync the gameplay. Now with the initiate secured, it's the trip to get the old X and most likely to do an MOC to finish off this spin. Anyone's game so far. Yanni starts with the peekaboo to get an architect, Ducker with the throne lure to one-up him and get an elite guard. Which does sound like a better play because that's instant access, both location-wise and the ability to carry an old X matters a lot. Although, of course, a couple of months ago this changed as well, and you can hide any X's, any items in briefcases. So getting an architect isn't a big problem, but you will be trespassing here, Yanni, and that's now the confirmations there. So Ducker is getting a lead here. One enforcer to dodge. One buffer there. And I'm only hoping, yeah, I was gonna say that it is a potential for a crash to to get the item, to hide it in a briefcase and do some quick prompts about it, but luckily it wasn't the case here. Scruffy the buffer, I love it. Just the small jokes like that just always get me. So Yanni's sort of like 30-ish seconds behind. Which is of course photo finish range, but Yanni's loading times in the first place wouldn't be very flattering for him. Rather, if it was a dead tie, we would always bet on Ducker winning the map. Gain at least a 3-second advantage. It feels like Yanni's not that far away from the chapel, but of course that's still 20-ish seconds behind. Ducker now with the Tranks. One Trank, the MOC still didn't see it. And Ducker will do now the 2 KOs to secure the MOC isolation. No problems there, but Jags the Custodian that costs him time and potentially makes the lure harder because Zoe won't stop to see a KO'd body. And if Zoe is running, which she does in some cases, then now it's much more difficult to secure this lure. Yeah, it's definitely at least 10 seconds with the potential to lose the whole run. Of course, it's not a huge likelihood that anything can go wrong will, but you always have to be aware of any problems there. Ducker needs to hide that one last body. But the fact that Ducker brought the Trank and Yanni needs these throne lures to secure this room. Oh, that's a weird dodge by the guard. That's 2 KOs and probably 3 soon. Yanni after all secures the room as well, but Ducker gains an advantage by not spending this much time with the isolation. And now here's Zoe. One door closing needed. The elite guard took a weird turn to see that coin, but nice awareness by Ducker to place that coin there in the first place. And the body's found on Ducker's side because the raider has seen Zoe and all but loses the map, unless Yanni of course does the same. He was behind, but now with the lure intact, all he needed to do is get the initiate to the location. Zoe was already KO'd, the old X was already in the briefcase in the room. So now it's about just those 2 KOs and of course not having the body found. There's the coin. Staple of these scares lately. And there is some distance, which will be helped by a couple of Zoe bumps. The body will be seen any second now. Of course, just a Trank body. But I guess it won't be seen. Oh, Yanni didn't even use the Trank, of course. There's no body to be seen. But those 2 KOs there means that Yanni can now go for the initiate and goes the long way around, goes the safe way around. And we have seen that the start of the spin, both of them have got the initiates, so just that these guys change. It's not the most secure walls on the map or in the trilogy, but that part has not failed anyone in a long time, so don't think those green guns will turn red for any reason now. That's a big whoosh. Oh, that was at least 80-90%. Gonna be a surefire peekaboo, but I don't really think the custodian could see anything. Picture is still just the target eliminated. Nobody is being found. And that's gonna be the Yanni exit and the Yanni 4-0 going into the RNG section. It was going to be the Ducker map win if he hadn't opened that door. And I can't really think that it's something that really often happens. I can't think of a rip that happened because that door was seen. The Raiders, for one, pretty far away, and for two, is not really looking towards the chapel. So definitely on the unfortunate side. But it's too late to think about that one for Ducker because he needs 3 map wins. He needs them now if he wants to stay in the tournament. It's not a map that he was looking for or forward to play. Because if I remember scheduling, or shortly after scheduling, Ducker was like, playing New York and scale against the PC player is almost like an insta loss. Of course, setting aside the fact that you need 6 points, but if you're not happy to see those 2 maps and you need to win the other 3, then things can look very dire. And Ducker's reaction is about the Mona Lisa. I guess the fact that in the gallery you can see the Mona Lisa in this, I guess, alternate universe. There are just most expensive paintings hidden on this island with the Art Society, and that was Ducker's reaction. I love it. Luckily, he's not too upset about that map loss. And probably shouldn't be either. Whatever happened, sorry. And you just need to turn this one around, starting in scale, which, I mean, Ducker has a pretty good map record, much better than Yanni. So I guess if anything, this would be a likely, I don't want to say the most likely possibility, but something that would fit these win rates and would fit, I guess, the story of this match. If Yanni were to be ahead, quicker strats, quicker execution, but then with the Rip, who's another Dartmoor, and we keep going. Don't want to say that's Ducker's biggest hope because he can, of course, out-execute Giannini, and we don't really know how they fare on the newer Dartmoor meta. I guess, of course, Dartmoor meta always changes slightly because every patch, every 3 months, one drop is patched out, and I think now we are fully without drops from the top floor, which probably makes the fast-forward suit start as likely as ever, or more likely than ever before. So to see Ducker starting PI with the hallway, well, I guess Ducker's hoping to get PI falling object or very narrow list of kills. But seeing Yanni's behind mansion setup, I think this is set up for a wonderful guessing game. If the spin is suit or requires behind mansion start, then I think Yanni is a very big advantage, especially with Ducker having to replan through his console. But if Zachary's bedroom is the winning location for a pneumatic start or a PI spin, then Ducker might just be able to take this one. 3rd spin. It is cleaver suit, so Yanni's start is much better and he can just load in, which he did. 8 seconds on our side, probably 4 or 5 after seeing the spin. That's very quick, and now Ducker has to switch up the loading screens. Yanni's behind, Ducker starts behind mansion, but not fast forward. That could prove to be a challenge, unless that was his plan. We'll see about it, but usually you want Alexa to calm down and then, of course, make her sick and just do what Yanni does and just do what most people do. This might just be a difference in in the Dartmoor metas, this is just a much better start, much better way to do the spin, but we'll see. Of course, Yannick can rip and Ducker can first try it, and we have a 4-2, but now we can see that Yanni is almost in the second half of the spin at 40 seconds. Needs to get a semi-whoosh on the mention stuff, gets a peekaboo, but only gets a Lexasic, and immediately for that matter. When Ducker is going up and down to get the cleaver, then going up again and then down, there's no drop involved. Yanni gets into combat though. And this is what I was talking about, one rip and it might be closer, but I do think that Ducker's spin or Ducker's chat is more than a minute slower. Yanni can have a 152.05 and Ducker I don't see finishing under 3 minutes. So yes, this is the moment where either of them can win, but still Yanni's side, Yanni's advantage. And that's without assuming any rips for Ducker. He needs to get this isolation right with, of course, the snail first. And then at least one trank. I mean, 2 is nice, but 1 is enough. You need to be outside of the way. There's no combat, luckily. You're in a hostile area, so you can't just run behind those guards. But for Ducker, all 4 guards are down, and just the trip to get the cleaver, then go back to case file and then exit. Still a very long way to go, and Yanni only needs to get to the kitchen, which he will clear with 1 trank. Or he would, yeah, the maid was seen after all. And I think Yanni is just 1 gun flash away. Wherever the guard is, it's not quite ready to gun flash. Yanni has Rebecca in a very awkward spot, but gets the first token. Oh, sorry, the second token. I didn't see the first one. That's the... Oh, but gets into combat. Insta combat. That's not how the gun flash was supposed to work. Seemed like the good idea, and I would say the good execution. I don't know how do you get another type of gun flash, which doesn't get you into insta combat. Well, I guess pointing the gun would be the trouble. It wasn't just a flash. But now with 2 rips, it's kind of settled, because we have checked this door and it's safe for Ducker. He needs to just change back into suit. And they get the throw for the kill. And I don't mean ill will, but I'm curious if Ducker will try any of the drops, or he has checked the patch notes and figured out that there are no more drops here. 75 it is. It's probably just a misinput. Of course he knows that. And the other for Ducker is just a bit more scuffed than usual. It is, of course, is scuffed because of the lore. Let's see if this... I mean, still gonna be a photo finish with Yanni's 3rd try. Playing against Ducker's 1st try, 350. And I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of Ducker. It's a very, like, all you have to do is get a 1st try, of course, and hope for the best. But there are ways to do this minutes faster, which Yanni is now showcasing, but I don't think the 3rd try will matter here. Because this is going to be a photo finish of at least 20 seconds, which Yanni will forfeit. We will go into map 4, but we will wait for the official, we will wait for the confirmation rather. 149 plays 356. That's, yeah, the difference in approaches. And easy sub for Dartmoor. Yes, let's go, Ducker. And I mean, got him the map win. If you're in Ducker's shoes and you're just not comfortable with the fast forward suit start, then you just do what you're comfortable with. All you need to do is finish the spin as fast as you can. And he did it in, I guess, real time wise, little over 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And that's gonna be enough for this one. Official difference is 18 seconds between Yanni and Tucker. Reminder that ChrisX3 is our admin here. But I guess not a reminder, because I haven't told it in the match, but very much appreciate your help today, as always. And because of the... I was gonna say that because of the restart question, Yanni asked how many restarts did Tucker have? And Tucker answered 0. That was maybe an indication that Yanni might just peek into the rules and or the numbers and see if the 18 seconds can be whittled down to 2 or fewer, but he did wave. So we now have 4-2, which is a big relief for ChrisX3 because he's ending this from a phone. That's how much of a goat he is. So I'm going to spoil the next map by just a few seconds. I might not be able to because I need to find the right channel and go to stream promote and reveal that map 4 is Paris. So New York, Dartmoor, and now this is the third of the short 6 shortest maps, quickest maps. Scale was obviously like mediocre. I guess it was the longer half of the medium maps, but so many spins can make the world record quicker. So we will see if it will be decided in Paris or we will go to map 5, which will be longer than the previous 4. But for that, Tucker needs to not lose this map. Of course, the 5-3 also gets us a 5th map. But for Tucker's sake and the match's sake, he really wants to get a 4-4 and get a match point of his own as well. Yep, as people mentioned here before, this is a clash of many Roulette Rivals championships. Yanni has won 3. That was 3 on console, 4 on PC, and 5 on PC. And then Tucker's numbers are very easy because 1 and 2 on Xbox, and then 4, 5, 6, and 7 on the combined console bracket. And this might just be the clash with the most RR titles currently. We were going to have another one around this time, but Froti versus Phenium is rescheduled for tomorrow, and that would be 4 + 4, 8 titles together. And I think it's only the 4 people that I mentioned that are multiple RR champions in this tournament. And of course, Danny Buta, who doesn't play in this one and doesn't seem to join RLWC to defend his title. But that's still close to 2 months away. Lots can change. And someone here, or most likely someone outside this group, will get the title. I want to say that there aren't any RL champions left in the upper bracket, which is now down to 4 players. Dynamos versus I Like Hitman. And the Reaper 47 against Scruffy, all hoping to get their first ever final, or in the case of I Like Hitman, the first final since RR6. So 2 years and 3 months ago. Yes, there is of course this very coincidental streak that the RLWC has only been won by Hungarian people. So myself in 2020, and then of course Dan in the last 2 years, I would be very much hopeful to keep that streak alive, but because the numbers are against us, especially with Danny out of the picture. But there is still plenty of time for him to reconsider. He will be the name to convince to join, of course without bullying him into too much. 30 seconds until the 4th spin, and this will be their 3rd Paris together. Yanni has won Paris against Tucker, and Tucker has won Paris. Decker has won Paris against Yanni. Now we will see who takes the lead in the head-to-head, or we will have a photo finish tie. I mean, for the sake of Chris, that won't happen, but for starters, he's a spin with a potential time gap at the end, or I guess a minimum time to hit. Viktor Novikov injected poison tech crew. Dalia Margolds consumed poison as chef. Two poisons there, and the fact that consume poison is the second one, it might be a spin where it's likely that they both have the same in-game time, waiting at the exit and all that. Yanni is going for second cycle Dalia. Or I guess a prolonged first cycle Dalia, because with the fireworks remote pressed, the entire first cycle of Dalia is delayed by, I guess, as much as you want, at least a minute 40 seconds. Yanni starts with a punch, and now him and Ducker are completely synced. All it took was 1 20-second attempt for Ducker to catch up. I guess that's a joke on the behalf of the console system, not Ducker's planning situation. Yanni gets the poke, and Ducker can't get a very quick injected poison kill because Viktor was facing towards 47 and against the wall. There's not a lot of place to get the poke there, but they are now 1 kill each. A reasonable second thing to do here is to get the Self Disguise and go up there, even going through the Frisk perhaps. I want to say that it's the fastest way around. Yes, let's go. No illegal items for Yanni. Just gets through the Frisk. Ducker might do the same. By the way, did Ducker... yeah, Ducker did delay Dalia. He did disject Dalia. Oh my god, sorry, I got it completely wrong. Ducker didn't even do the fireworks at all. He just did the double bullet distraction, so that Dalia isn't distracted by fireworks at all, and Ducker is on his own cycle entirely. I don't know the second cycle poison off the top of my head, but we can see the first cycle is a little less than 130, way less than 140, because you can see that Dalia is now leaving the area, and Ducker now has an entire cycle to get to the chef disguise. But the difference is that with this, Yanni is now, I guess, half a cycle away, because after the fireworks end, Dalia will have the speech and then continue on with her cycle to trample and then drink the poison. I don't know the timing of that one, but it feels much slower, much faster, much earlier than Ducker's. I want to say, yeah, time should be right, and it should be a 420 for Ducker to get the second cycle more than 2 minutes away, and Yanni should be closer, and Yanni only needs a chef disguise anymore. We can see it on the minimap that Dalia is sort of above Yanni at the moment, which should be auction room where she talks to the NPCs. She's now kind of frozen there. It is some cause for concern. And now she started moving. I think she took a look of the auction procedures, and now I guess it's one conversation with Poe, which is not going to be proxied, and I do want to say shortly after that there is going to be the kill. There's Dalia stop, hand towards the glass, and target eliminated at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That is going to be about 1 more minute for Ducker. Not going to be enough, not even with these loading times. Yanni with the better in-game time for sure, and a better RTA to win Paris and win this match to advance to loser bracket round 5. The last question of this match is how accurate was Timecube's prediction for the second cycle kill? I do think it's 415 to 425-ish. But this is going to be kind of a pain for Ducker, because the time that when he's about to get the second kill and exit, that will be the score 2-6 and the end of his tournament, which is basically official at this point. We need to just wait out the 47 seconds, which is going to run out about now. Yeah, now for Ducker, she goes there to drink. I think there was a couple more proxy conversation there, which Ducker triggered, so this is an evil later kill, but didn't make a difference. 6-2 is the final score. Big GG's to both of them. And now we can take a look at the brackets, where Giannini will make it to the second of the losers round 5 matches, and will play the winner of Fenium versus Throat. These 4 players, the only 4 with 4 or more. No, Yanni has 3 titles and Danny has 3 titles. So anyway, 4 of the most decorated players ever, and only one of them can advance to round 6. Of course, the other half is already over. Korg versus TK47. Korg finished the sweep against TK, and he will be facing Joker in just a couple hours. I did not realize that it was over as well. I did not realize the raid as well. Sorry, crazy for this. I was fully expecting our match to finish with these quick maps, but 4 of us, the 4 maps took just long enough for us to end this match after TK match. And this will mean that Joker and Go will be playing in just 20 minutes, as we can see it in the upcoming matches tab. 20 more minutes until that match, and Saturday has one scheduled. That's one of the winners bracket matches, Dynamos vs I Like Hitman, and the other one is, I guess, technically Sunday, but it's gonna be flowing through the evening of Saturday. Fenium vs Frody at 1 AM currently, and then Reaper vs Scruffy, the other winners bracket semi-final on Sunday. And of course, Yanni and the winner of Fenium vs Frody will play on Sunday, and I think the other half of the loser bracket will also play a couple matches, but you kind of have the picture at this point. But that should be it about this match. I would like to say thank you to ChrisX3 for adminning this match, to both Giannini and Ducker for playing. Congrats to Yanni for advancing. Good luck in the rest of the tournament for him. And also thank you everyone for watching, and until next time, see you everyone.